talk about how does relationship building tie into SEO and PR and marketing and this kind of thing? Because a lot of people think it's just fluff and vanity and look at me, right?
Okay, so we're sitting here. I would say that the biggest value that SEO and what I do specifically to add to Caleb Williams' SEO at Better Wealth is just to help him create the personal relationships that Dennis was talking about. It's a huge asset that Caleb has brought to the industry that no one else really has, and we've been able to thrive because of that, both financially, with our connections, with our reputation, all those things, just because of the way that we're integrating social media, integrating podcasts, integrating connections, and this EEAT into our systems that Dennis was talking about. It brings a whole new face, as Dennis was saying, to the life insurance space. And where I come in that is behind the scenes, part of my job is I build out podcast lists and I find what will be the most strategic podcast to put Caleb on. Who's the most strategic guest for Caleb to be put on? So then they can be fit into this box right here with our connections. That's a huge thing because you can be on a million podcasts, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the ones that improve your EEAT that really matter. And so to find who's the strategic guest, who has shared audiences, and who do you have personal connections with that Google will be able to recognize, it will really boost your websites and everything that you post. Because Google sees everything. I mean, it's scary, but it's a scary truth. But it's a multifaceted, and it's one of the most leverageable business skills and business tools, and it will never be able to be replaced by AI. Until I've talked to Dennis about this before, and you can read articles where we talked about this. But the movie Ex Machina, where you can't tell the AI is human. That's the whole point of the movie. Until we get to that point, it's not replicable by AI, and it's super valuable to have someone that's able to do this and able to understand this. And so I'm happy to be able to fill that role for Better Wealth. And
so would you say even for local businesses that have presidents and maybe there's mom and pop stores they don't like to get in front of, they don't like to be on social, they don't like to put themselves out there. What is your advice to them? Get over it.
I'd say
what's kind of a, something to kind of jumpstart, their own kind of, this is really about personal branding, right? That actually helps your business, right? And the more connections you make, right, it's going to juice your business. And so what would you say maybe to just kind of getting started?
Well, I'd say, first of all, you can document everything like Dennis was showing us before. He doesn't even have those Google photos posted necessarily, not all of those. And the SEO is still taking those. So that's one thing if you're terrified to post. You can get over it, as Mike was saying. It's going to help your business. And at the end of the day, like more dollars in your pocket. I mean, I'd be willing to post my face for more dollars in my pocket. But also, if you're just really that terrified of it, you can get a new face, like hire a mascot, quote unquote.
Someone who's part of your business that is willing to go out there.
I'm sure there's a bunch of 23, 25-year-olds or even younger that would love to be that face for you. And then what Dennis was saying here, the two line graphs that he has. So the way that I integrate with other life insurance people and other people that have shared audiences with us is I go to a bunch of conferences all over the country to connect with all the people that are in the financial industry. And so that boosts our SEO in the way that Dennis was explaining with EEAT. And then we also, since we sell to all 50 states, I also get to post. We get to post, me and Caleb post in all different cities in all different states. And so it boosts our SEO nationwide, which is what we want because we sell in all 50 states.
Gotcha. So some good takeaways there for sure. I think even if you were a local business that you typically go out and network anyways, right? You have golf tournaments, you have city, what do you call it? Chambers of Commerce, right? Or whatever meetings. You do that naturally anyway, but you probably don't think about necessarily taking pictures at these events or you make connections, but those connections could be amplified, right? Is that what we're trying to say here?
It's pretty much explaining like, how do I get the most bang for my buck?
Mhm.
How do I get wealth efficiency, and how do I leverage what I'm already doing to amplify my business, both in numbers, connections, and all aspects.
And this is not just social. A lot of people view that as just being social media, but people don't make the connection that there's SEO involved in that, right?
Exactly.
And it's all connected.
Mhm.
And then if you use Dennis's dollar a day thing, where you're kind of putting some, maybe a little bit of money on some
Yeah.
of that content
Yeah.
to target
Mhm.
those connections. And those are the things that, you know, agencies can help out
Yeah.
with, but it's just going to amplify everything,
Yeah.
right? And so there's that ecosystem of
Mhm.
marketing, right, that we're really
Mhm.
talking about here. It's not just,
Yeah.
and it's a simple philosophy of
Mhm.
it's almost social media,
Mhm.
really, but it's really amplifying it to juice your authority,
Yeah.
right? And that's
Mhm.
going to help you in the long run.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it
Good
also
takeaways.
I'd also say like it brings humanity into your business. So like as a plumber, or as a, let's say, some sort of virtual company, there's not a lot of humanity in that. So if you can post about like a golf fundraiser or something like
Yeah.
that, like some of my favorite companies, like Patagonia, for instance, they donate 1% of their profit to wildlife conservation efforts. Like that's something that brings humanity to the brand, and it makes me want to spend my money there. So
Yep.
that's one thing as well.
And in the age of AI, I think this is where everybody's kind of struggling, because
Mhm.
AI, you're going to have more efficiencies. And what does that bring? It brings more
Yeah.
content, right? And the more content you have, the more noise there is out in the world. So how do you, you know, delineate between, you know, human, AI?
Yeah.
How do you make that human connection?
Mhm.
I think those are the questions, and that's part of, we can use AI
Yeah.
to help supplement what we're
Yeah.
doing, right? But that's not the answer. And I
For
think
sure.
this is kind of what Dennis and Jack are saying, is like, this is kind of how we keep humanity in our marketing, and use AI when it's
Mhm.
needed, but also using our marketing principles to actually get us where we need to be.
Yeah. And as far as like with that internet theory and other things, this is going to become just more and more leverageable, because the internet is going to become more and more AI eaten by itself and just reproducing AI material. And so if you can build out actual human connections, it's going to be even more powerful moving forward.